So we're going to build on that knowledge of the special right triangles, the 30, 60, 90 triangle and the 45, 45, 90 triangle, and we're going to add what are called trigonometric ratios. Yeah, we're starting to talk about trigonometry here. All that trigonometry is the relationship or the ratio between the sides of a triangle and the angles within the triangle. The first one we're going to talk about is sine. And the sine is the length of the opposite angle, or the length of the opposite side of an angle in comparison to its hypotenuse. So let's take a look here. Here is my 30-degree angle. My 30-degree angle has an opposite side length of 1 and a hypotenuse of 2. So the sine of 30 degrees is the ratio 1, which is the opposite, over 2, which is the hypotenuse. Alright, so using that same information, let's do the sine of 45. What is opposite of 45-degree angle? What is the hypotenuse? So the sine of 45, but I can't leave a radical in the denominator. I have to multiply both sides by the square root of 2. So that I have the square root of 2 over 2 as the sine. Now, in your book, I'm going to have you read 2 examples that talk about how to use a table to look things up. But you can handle that part, I know. All right, let's do the sine of 60. The sine of 60. Well, if this one is the 30, this one is the 60. What's opposite 60? Over the hypotenuse. All right. This is pretty straightforward information here. You just have to remember that the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. And it's represented with the word sin. I know, kind of weird. So now we're going to talk about the cosine. The cosine is the sine of your angle's complement. That's where the word or the prefix co comes from the complement. So if I want the cosine of this angle, it's really the sine of the complement. Okay, so let's just make it simple. Instead of doing opposite over hypotenuse, if I'm doing the cosine, I want to do the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. If I want to do the cosine of 45, I do the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now wait a minute, it's exactly the same as the sine was. And if I simplify it, we already know what that is. I'm not going to do it again. Now the cosine of 60. The cosine of 60. 60 degrees is here. What's adjacent? What's the hypotenuse? So the cosine of 60 is 1/2. All right, one more ratio to do, and that's the tangent. The tangent is the opposite angle and the opposite side and the adjacent side. So if I'm doing the tangent of 30, I want the angle opposite, or not angle, sorry, side opposite, side adjacent. So the tangent of 30 is 1 over square root of 3. I need to simplify it because I can't leave a radical in the denominator. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is 3. Now, let's do the tangent of 60. Opposite over adjacent. And then the tangent of 45. Opposite over adjacent. That's nice, isn't it? Because 1 over 1 is 1. Alright, so now I need you to go read page 332 and 333. Read examples 2 and 3. They're going to talk about how to use the table in the back of the book. Then I want you to do the assignment on page 335. You're going to do 1 through 5 odd and number 9. And the class exercises on page 334, 1 through 18.